What's up everyone, I'm Y, and welcome to a video that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and I finally got the chance to make it now. This is ranking every Wings of Fire book. So as you probably know, I'm a big fan of the Wings of Fire series, as I've made several videos on it, and a lot of my Wings of Fire videos have gotten a ton of views thanks to you all. I'm really grateful for all of that, but now today I'm finally doing it. I'm finally ranking every single Wings of Fire book. Although I am going to be ranking it differently than how I did the Diary Wimpy Kid ranking video, because, well, for Diary Wimpy Kid, there were some books that were great, while other ones were just, well, bad. So I did that, ranked those books by using a scale of 1 to 10. I'll go through each book and give it a rating out of 10, you know. But for the Wings of Fire books, it was kind of hard for me to do it that way because, well, I feel like they're really, like, all the books are great in general. There are only, like, maybe, like, one or two that I would consider to be not so good, but I still love the series as a whole. I still love almost every single book, so I just feel like doing a 1 out, or just a scale of 1 to 10 system wouldn't really work out perfectly here. So instead, I'm going to be doing the Wings of Fire ranking in the style of a tier list, as you can see right here, with S tier being the best and D tier being the worst. Although again, I don't necessarily hate any of the Wings of Fire books, so if I put one in D tier, doesn't mean I hate it. I just think it's not as good as any of the other ones up here. So let's get started, and just keep in mind, this is all my opinion, or it's okay to disagree with my takes or whatever on all these books, but let's get started with book 1. Now, right off the bat, I think book 1 is really great. I mean, it's the book that started the series, it's what got me into the series in the first place, and had a really great plot, and, well, it did a good job setting up the series, like, not just like sort of establishing the lore for the first 5 books, but also mentions some other things, like this, like, or I guess references other things like the Scorching and stuff that appears in the later books, which is really interesting. Like, it has a lot of, there's a ton of exposition hidden in book 1. We really go and read through it and notice all the little details, which is really awesome. I mean, Wings of Fire as a whole does a good job with, I guess, exposition and stuff, but book 1 especially really does a good job establishing everything right off the bat. So, and also, I think Clay is a really underrated character, honestly. Like, he's really great, and I really love him. He's probably one of my favorites from the first 5 Dragons of Destiny. So, I mean, I'm tempted to put it in S tier, but I'm not 100% sure. Okay, actually, you know what? Okay, I'm going to put an S tier for now, but I might change it later, but who knows? I mean, again, book 1 I think is really amazing, so I think it deserves that ranking. Now, next up, we have book 2, or this is Dragon of Prophecy. This is book 2, The Lost Heir. I'll be sure to say them all by their real names. Now, Lost Heir, okay, I don't like this as much as book 1, honestly. This one just feels kind of middle of the road for me, so I'm probably going to put it in B tier. I mean, I think the lore of the Sea Wings is alright. It's somewhat interesting, and I guess the plot was decent, but, I mean, I just feel like, I mean, Tsunami is kind of a meh character for me, and I just don't find this book all that memorable compared to some of the other books. That's just my personal take anyways, but I think this is a pretty good spot for book 2. And, okay, actually, okay, they're kind of, the books are kind of out of order. I'm going to go in order by, like, when they were released or their number order. So next up, we have book 3, The Hidden Kingdom, and this one is really good. I mean, I love Glory. She's also an awesome character, and I love the plot of her, like, becoming the queen of the Rain Wings at the end, and I also think that seeing, like, the Rain Wings and how they just act, like, before being all, like, sort of lazy and just eating all the fruit and stuff, that was really funny to me. And also the part where they found out Night Wings were capturing the Rain Wings, also a pretty dark plot twist that I also found really cool. So, okay, actually, you know what? This book I think is amazing. I'm gonna put an S tier, but I think I like it slightly better than book 1. So I'm gonna move book 1 down because book 1 is still great, but this one I feel like it's just slightly better. It also has a lot of like exposition and lore dumping. Well, not dumping I don't mean it in a bad way, but like I just feel like book 3 does a great job sort of delivering on the whole climax of the plot twist of the Night Wings, and also Starflight gets kidnapped right at the end. That's also a big plot twist, and that leads into book 4, The Dark Secret. And this book I think is also really great. Starflight, okay, well, okay, I mean, Starflight's an alright character. He's fine. I mean, I think maybe I probably like Glory and Clay a bit better, though, because I feel like Starflight can be kind of annoying at times, but he's still a good dragon overall. This book also had a lot of climatic moments and also expanded more on the lore of the Night Wings, and we find the truth that, well, or I guess the dark secret in a way, that the Night Wings are stranded on the island, and they also, well, they don't all have the mysterious powers that they're said to have. Only certain ones do, like Moonwatcher, for example. We'll get to her later. But this book overall pretty good. I mean, do I want to put an S tier though? Okay, I'm gonna put an A tier because I feel like the Hidden Kingdom, like this one, I feel like is just ever so slightly better than these two. That's how I see it, so this feels like the best way to rank it. And now finally we have the finale of the Dragonette Prophecy series. We have the Brightest Night with my girl Sunny. Sunny is definitely a super underrated character. Do I want to put this book in S tier though? Now in this book, I believe Sunny goes off on her own, and she, I guess, sort of explores the Sandwing area. So we get to see like exposition for like the Sandwings, because I guess the original series of the Wings of Fire books is sort of just like, I mean, I guess it's all sort of exposition if you really think about it, like establishing how all the different dragon tribes are. Like this one establishes like the Sky Wings and the Mud Wings. This one is for the Sea Wings. This one is for the Rain Wings. The Night Wings also, I think, also a bit of the Ice Wings as well. And this one's all about the Night Wings even more. And then this one's mostly about the Sand Wings, and you have Sunny going to like the I forgot what it was called, the Scorpion Den, I think that was it. And well, she meets some more Sand Wings, and she meets Thorn, who's her real mother. So that was pretty nice and sweet. And also the ending where the two Sand Wing sisters, Burn and Blister, die, and then Blaze learns from it. Two shall die, one shall learn, according to the prophecy. But she does not become the queen. Instead, the new queen of Sand Wings is Sunny's mom, Thorn, and I thought that was a really nice twist. I mean, Thorn is a pretty good character overall. I mean, I kind of wish we got to like see a bit more of her. Like, she's just sort of just at the, like, I don't want to say she was like just thrown in like last second right at the end, but I just feel like they could have maybe done a little bit more with her. So overall, this does a great job ending the original Dragonette Prophecy series, and I think this might actually be my favorite out of all the prophecy ending books. We'll get to those later again. So, actually, I'm gonna put this one in S tier. I think it deserves it. And Sunny, you're one of the best Wings of Fire characters. You're super underrated. You're awesome. All right. Now we're moving on to the Jade Mountain Prophecy series. First up, we have Moon Rising, and well, I mean, I didn't really like the book version of this that much because, okay, well, you can see, these are the book covers. The book, I felt like, was just really kind of boring. It's really dialogue heavy. I mean, I get it's a book, but still. But I will say I liked the graphic novel version of this book a lot more because, like, I guess I didn't have to waste too much time describing all the new characters because you can just see them there. So, this book, okay, well, if I were to, okay, well, this might seem like a weird take, but if I were rating it by the graphic novel, I'd probably put it in, like, B, or maybe even, I'll probably put it in, like, somewhere in B and A, but for the book itself, I'm just going to put it in C tier because I just feel like the book, like, it wastes a lot of time describing all the new characters and stuff, which, I mean, I guess I can see why they had to do that, but still, just kind of ruins the book for me in some parts. But I did like other parts of the book. Like, I like meeting I did like meeting the new characters, like Kibbley, Winter, Turtle, and all that stuff, and it also does a good job setting up the exposition for the Jade Mountain series as a whole, with Darkstalker and everything. Now, next up, we have Winter Turning, and this book, I feel like most people don't really like that much, and I can kind of understand. I mean, when I first read it, I also thought it was kind of mid, like, Moon Rising, but, I mean, I think I liked it slightly more. I think I'll put it in B tier. It's sort of a middle-of-the-road book. Like, the book does spend a lot of time with, like, the characters traveling a lot, which is a bit, just a bit boring, but I also like seeing Winter interact with the members of his winglet and his character arc. Like, I feel like Winter is probably one of the best characters when it comes to, like, having a sort of a redemption arc in a way, or I guess just where they change, or character development, if you will. I feel like he has the best character development of all the Wings of Fire characters. I mean, if it weren't for, like, all, like, the boring parts, I'd definitely put this would be an automatic A, but I'm just gonna move it down to B. I feel like it feels more fair. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna do, like, the order thing from left to right. I'm just gonna put them in tiers and just leave them how they are. Alright. Next, we have Escaping Peril, and this book I actually really loved. I think this might actually be my favorite book from the Jade Mountain series, because I really liked how they brought back Peril from book 1. That was a nice, bring back, and expanded more in the story of her and Queen Scarlet and how, well, I guess how she came to be, and I really liked all of that, and also had a ton of action scenes, like the fight between Scarlet and Tourmaline. I can't wait to see that, in the graphic novel version, by the way. Once the graphic novel for that comes out, I seriously hope the fight scene looks amazing. I hope it does. But overall, I think this book is really good, and also, actually has a really, I guess, climatic ending where Darkstalker finally awakens from the Jade Mountain. That would also be awesome to see in the graphic novel version, by the way. So I'm really excited for that. But overall, this book is pretty good. I'll put it in A tier. Next on our list is Talons of Power, and this is a really interesting book because this is the one where it's after Escaping Peril where Darkstalker awakens from Jade Mountain, but he interacts with Jade Winglet and all the dragons at Jade Mountain Academy, and Darkstalker tries to come across as like he has good intentions, but although Darkstalker is kind of an interesting villain because it's kind of hard to justify whether he's truly evil or not, and also like because they talk about Animus magic lore and talk about how every time you use your Animus magic, if you're an Animus dragon, it like takes away part of your soul and you become like more evil, I guess. So it's interesting to say the least. Talents of Power, had really good plot overall. Turtle, he's kind of a meh character for me, honestly, but overall this book is pretty good. Should I put it in A tier? Okay, you know what? I think I'll put it in A tier. I think it's actually pretty good. I'll put it there. Now, next up, we have Darkness of Dragons. This book is really good. It's another prophecy ending book. This one has Ghibli as the main character. Ghibli is a pretty awesome character. I'm sure a lot of people would agree with that. And, the plot overall is pretty good. I don't remember everything that happened in Darkness of Dragons, but I believe it talks about Ghibli's backstory of how he had a cruel and abusive family, and I believe he goes back to where his family is and sort of confronts them or something like that. And then at the end, they end up stopping Darkstalker by Kinkachu feeding Darkstalker the Animus Touch strawberry. That's definitely an interesting ending, but now, do I think this is good as these, or do I think it's as good as Brightest Night, though? I'm not sure. It's kind of hard to decide. I feel like the ending was a bit more, I feel like the ending was a bit more abrupt. Like, it just ends with Darkstalker, eating the berry, then him, turning into a, baby dragon. Actually, oh, dang, I forgot what he was named after he became a baby. I'll post the name on screen right now, but actually, I think it was it, like, Peacekeeper or something like that? I think that was it. But this book, okay, well, you know what? I'm gonna give this book the benefit of the doubt since I kind of forgot like some stuff that happens in it since it's been a while since I've read it. So I think it's really good. It's an awesome way to end up the Jade Mountain series. So I'm also gonna put an S tier along with the Brightest Night. And lastly, we have the Lost Continent series, starting off with a book literally titled The Lost Continent. And personally, I think this book is actually really good. Like, I think it does a great job showing us the new Lost Continent of all the new dragon tribes and stuff, and also setting up the exposition for the whole lore of the continent as well, obviously, and also the story of the hive wings versus the leaf wings. So, the only thing I don't like about this book is Blue. I feel like Blue and also the next character we're going to get into, Cricket, they're two of my least favorite characters from the entire Wings of Fire series. I just find them just really boring and just not really all that likable, in my opinion. So I'm going to put this book in, should it be A tier or B tier? I'm not sure. I'm going to think maybe, okay, I think I'm going to go with B tier for now. I think it's still great, but then I guess another downside of this book is that you don't really have as many, like, the old characters in it, like, or at all, even, because it's a new series, which I guess makes sense, but I guess if you're the kind of Wings of Fire fan who loves seeing, like, old characters returning in books, or just, like, old elements and stuff, this book doesn't really have much of that, so I guess this book has a few downsides, but I still think overall it does a great job starting off the Lost Continent series. Just maybe not as good as the Dragonette Prophecy book did with starting the Dragonette Prophecy series. Now, next up, we have the Hive Queen, and I'm sorry, I just don't like this book. I'm putting it in D tier. I just found this book super boring. I just didn't find anything really enjoyable out of it, and just nothing really interesting happens in the book for me. I'm sorry, and also I don't like Cricket as a character. Okay, that's just my opinion. It's not horrible. It's not a horrible book, but it's just not as good as all the other Wings of Fire books. That's all. Now, next we have The Poison Jungle. And this book I think is pretty good. This book, while it is very dialogue heavy, it doesn't have as much action until the very end. Although I will say the ending was really good, where I guess it had a really dramatic plot twist where the Silk Wings get possessed by the Breath of Evil, and then the Leaf Wings, Sundew, and as well as I guess Cricket, they have to flee to Pyria by following Clearsight's map that they find in the book. So that was pretty cool. And also, we also get to see the relation between Sundew and Willow, which I thought was pretty enjoyable. But overall, this book is decent. I'll put it in B tier for now. It's not super great, but it's good. It's good. And next up, we have The Dangerous Gift. And honestly, I absolutely love this book. I think this book is, the best Wings of Fire book out of all, period. That may seem like a crazy choice, but Well, first up, I liked Snowfall as a character. I really liked her dealing with, well, I guess she had OCD, technically, dealing with all the stress as being the new Queen of the Ice Wings. I thought she was a great character. But what I really loved about this book is how it, like, mixed all, like, the books together. Like, you had the characters from the Jade Mountain series come together with the Lost Continent characters, and it just felt really awesome seeing them all interact, and I just feel like it just did a great job bringing all the series together in a way. And also had a reference to Dragon Slayer, that book where with the humans, you had Ren and Sky appear as well. That was a cool little touch. And I just found this book to be really, really refreshing as well, because it brought back all the old characters from Pyria, as I already said, but it just felt, I don't know why, but just the way they did it just felt really refreshing and awesome, and it just made me really love reading this book, because, well, actually, at the time of reading this book, it's kind of a funny story. I was getting kind of bored of the Jade Mount, or okay, I don't know why I keep getting them mixed up, but I was honestly getting kind of bored of the Lost Continent series. I didn't find it all to be all that amazing, but this book, I feel like, was a big turning point in the series. It made it, well, this book and also this book, I feel like, is the best one out of not just the Lost Continent series, but also out of all the Wings of Fire books in general. It just has so much good stuff going for it, and overall, I thought it was really amazing, and that's why I'm putting it in the top spot in S tier. There we go. And now finally, we have the final Wings of Fire book, The Flames of Hope, the ending of the Lost Continent series. And this book, well, it's very interesting. It has, because we find out the true villain of the Lost Continent series is actually Cottonmouth. Well, he used to be a human, but then he became like a creepy, like, vine plant monster combined with Lizard, that other dragon. And he was also responsible for the Scorching, which was referenced all the way back in book 1. So it's crazy to see like something from book 1 come back like 14 books later. It's really crazy, but here we are. And overall, this book is pretty good. Although, I mean, I feel like the ending was kind of like anticlimactic in a way. Like, I thought the ending was good and all, but just like there wasn't like so much action. It was sort of just like dialogue. And okay, also I apologize, I kind of forgot a few important details from some of the books. I might need to go back and reread some of them, or maybe I'll wait until they get graphic novel adaptations and read those instead, because those are usually a little easier to read, I guess. I mean, the books are kind of long, and I'll often have some more filler, as I mentioned earlier, but overall, Flames of Hope, okay, I'm not quite sure where to put this one. This one's kind of a hard choice. Should it be A tier? Or okay, actually, you know what? I think I'll put this in. Well, this book we also got to see the old characters like Kibli and Moonwatcher and stuff, so that was pretty good. So, you know what? I'll put this one A tier. Alright, so that's the full tier list. I think this looks pretty good, although, well, there aren't that many books down here in C and D tier. Actually, you know what? No, I don't think we need a D tier. I think maybe we'll only have 4 tiers, and I'm actually going to quickly rename the tiers as well. Alright, I finalized the Wings of Fire tier list, and I gave the tiers new names, and I also got rid of the D tier because I didn't think it was needed. Yeah, delete row, there we go. Alright, so now here's the tiers. First up, we have the meh tier. These are the books I consider to be kind of meh. We have The Hive Queen and Moon Rising. Again, not terrible books, just kind of meh, that's all. Next up, we have the good books. These are books that are considered to be good, but just not as great as the ones above them. We've got The Poison Jungle, The Lost Continent, The Lost Heir, and Winter Turning. Next up, we have the great tier, some of the best books, but not the best of all times. We've got The Flames of Hope, Talons of Power, Escaping Peril, The Dark Secret, and The Dragon of Prophecy. And finally, we've got the best tier, the tier of the top 4 best Wings of Fire books of all time. You've got, well, actually, I'm going to rank them in number order after, right at the end, maybe. But here you've got Darkness of Dragons, The Brightest Night, The Hidden Kingdom, and The Dangerous Gift. Now, if I were to rank the Wings of Fire books in number order, I think this order, I already have them here, is pretty good. I think I like the Poison Jungle slightly more in this. I'll do that, and actually, I think actually, this book, I think, or the Lost Heir, I think, is slightly not as good as these two, or at least in my opinion. But I think this is a pretty good finalization to the tier list. So if I were to rank all the Wings of Fire books in order, they'd go like this: 15, The Hive Queen; 14, Moon Rising; 13, The Lost Heir; 12, The Lost Continent; 11, The Poison Jungle; 10, Winter Turning; 9, The Flames of Hope; 8, Talons of Power; 7, Escaping Peril; 6, The Dark Secret; 5. The Dragonite Prophecy. 4. Darkness of Dragons. 3. The Brightest Night. 2. The Hidden Kingdom. And 1. The best Wings of Fire book, The Dangerous Gift. So guys, it does it for our Wings of Fire tier list. I personally think this count came out pretty good, but definitely let me know how you feel about this tier list in the comments down below. Again, this is all just my opinion, so if you disagree with anything, that's totally fine. But thank you all so much for watching this video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, definitely be sure to like and subscribe for more awesome videos like this. Maybe I'll do more tier list rankings for other stuff like Pokemon or something, or maybe I'll do like other rankings for Wings of Fire, or I'm definitely gonna do more Wings of Fire videos in the future. But I also think doing tier list rankings for other stuff would be cool as well. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.